Welcome everyone to NoDQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. I am the owner of NoDQ, Aaron Rift. We got Hell in the Cell this coming Sunday. But for now, let's get right down to your questions. If WWE was to sign Samoa Joe, do you think they could do a Punk versus Joe match at Wrestlemania? That would give something huge to independent wrestling and its fans, besides Money in the Bank 2011. Well, if Samoa Joe was to ever compete in a match at WrestleMania, it would not happen right away. He would have to establish himself as a WWE superstar. They're not just going to bring him in fresh out of TNA and put him in a match at WrestleMania. He's going to have to work his way up the ladder. So it could be a few years, but perhaps down the line we could see CM Punk versus Samoa Joe in a match at WrestleMania for sure. For sure. What do you think was WWE's biggest booking mistake in the last 2 to 3 years? To me, it would be the whole Nexus storyline. When they did that whole angle with all the members coming out and just beating the crap out of John Cena and just destroying everything in sight, they should have done more with that. Now, the issue is that maybe these guys were really green or inexperienced and not ready to be in a main event position. But if that's how you feel about them, why put them in the main event in the first place? If WWE was going to, go with these guys and do this big storyline, they should have gone all the way with it. Those guys should have gone a good 6 months of nonstop wins. They should have won at SummerSlam. They should have been totally dominant. Remember back to the NWO? The NWO got over because those guys came out every single week and just laid waste to everybody. Nobody could take the NWO. Hell, even when it was Hogan and Hall and Nash by themselves, they could take out like the whole roster. It was crazy. The hell? Catfight? Yeah, the NWO, just 3 guys, dominated everybody. It was amazing. And that's why the NWO got over. But, oh my god. Catfight! Holy crap. We have a catfight here on NoDQ&A video. If you want to check out more of them, go to youtube.com/thecatdiaries. I'm losing it here. Okay, anyways, back to the question. Yeah, it was definitely Nexus, I think, that was WWE's biggest mistake. And you could also say the whole CM Punk thing from this year, bringing him back way too soon. And, SummerSlam's buy rate was very disappointing. And, yeah, it was clear that they should have waited more on CM Punk. But either that or the Nexus storyline. Hey, Aaron, do you think Kofi Kingston would work as a heel? Probably not, because it goes against basic psychology. Kofi Kingston is a small guy. He's kind of like the underdog that you want to get behind. It just doesn't work him being a heel. Unless he could cut like this incredible heel promo, it just wouldn't be a good idea at all. What are your thoughts on Umaga? I think it's a shame he didn't get a world title run. I thought he moved very fast for his size and was also a pretty good wrestler. R.I.P. Umaga. Yeah, I liked Umaga a lot. I thought he was a very good performer. He had a really good match with John Cena at a Royal Rumble, and he had some great matches with Jeff Hardy. I think just the problem with him, that ultimately led to his early demise was just the drug issues, and just his personal life was a mess. And they just had to cut him after a while because his issues got too out of control. I'm not sure. I think he was one of those guys that they wanted to go to rehab and he refused. So, as they say, before others can help you, you need to help yourself. And it was just unfortunate because he did have a lot of talent and could have gone really far in WWE. Hey Aaron, love the show. Would you like to see the Ultimate Warrior return to WWE for one final match at WrestleMania? Not sure if that would be the best idea, especially if at his age, I'm not even sure if he can run down to the ring. It's a big stadium. I mean, Warrior's pushing into his 50s now, so yeah, I'm not sure that one would work out too well. How does David Otunga have a job in WWE and Shelton Benjamin doesn't? Jennifer Hudson. Which match would you rather see? Austin versus Punk, Austin versus Orton, or Austin versus Cena? Well, in terms of which match would draw the best and have the most crowd heat, I think you would go with Austin versus Cena. But you got Austin versus Orton, the Viper versus the Rattlesnake. That would be an awesome match right there. And of course, Steve Austin, the beer drinker, versus CM Punk, Mr. Straight Edge. What can you say? That match, either Punk or Orton, those two matches would definitely be better than Austin versus Cena. It's just a matter of what your taste is. If you want a great match, or do you want a so-so match that's going to have epic crowd heat and, be possibly one of the biggest drawing matches of all time. So just take your pick. I remember reading a while back in an interview with Mr. Anderson, and he stated that he hopes he isn't wrestling anymore 5 years from now. When he does decide to retire, do you see him ending his career in TNA or WWE? Retiring in 5 years. That's a good one. That's funny. I would be very surprised if he retires in 5 years. Now, as far as where he ends his career, never say never in terms of returning to WWE. I know he went out on bad terms and had a lot of issues with them, but Hogan had issues with WWE. Flair had issues with WWE. Bret Hart had issues with WWE, and he came back. So it's always a possibility that Anderson could end up back in a WWE ring someday. What would be your dream Money in the Bank ladder match with superstars currently in WWE? Well, of course I'd want to have Evan Bourne in there, Kofi Kingston, John Morrison, Daniel Bryan, and just throw in a couple more high flyers in there, and you're all set to go. And you'll have a great match right there, Money in the Bank. All right, that about does it for No DQ&A video here on NoDQ.com. As I mentioned before, Hell in the Cell this coming weekend. You can check out coverage at NoDQ.com. Post your predictions at NoDQforums.com. And on that note, we'll see you next time for No DQ&A video.